Today's news is that there's never going to be more people on the planet than there are today because a whole pile of people apparently are going to be leaving. This is the kooky stuff that you listen to on YouTube, and I don't know what it means. The context was that they were trying to say that somehow, with Earth ascension, that there was a whole pile of people who were going to be leaving. Um, I don't know why that came up right now, but it did. So I cannot address it. I have no idea. It's just someone's psychic phenomenon that gives them these words that come up with a bunch of people are leaving the planet. So if you're leaving, don't fret. And if you're staying, don't fret. Um, Elsewhere in the news, I can't figure out where you're going to find a new person to replace Donald Trump. Because after Trump, um, I don't know. What I mean is, um, he's the most confusing person you could possibly elect as president. I mean, look at how many people he's fired since he's been in there. And um, I don't know who'd want to be the president after Donald Trump. Uh, it doesn't have any status anymore. He pretty much ruined the status of it all. Um, I have no respect for the presidency of the United States at all. I think that he's just like in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I think they had a president of the galaxy, and he was like a ceremonial post, and everyone thought he was a buffoon. Hello, Donald Trump. So I don't think that there is any war brewing with Iran, regardless of what the newspapers say. I think it's all false flag, and we've all learned false flag so much we label everything false flag. And if the map that they showed on the news was Iran was surrounded by American bases. So, um, whose fault is it? America's in North America, and they've got more bases around Iran than Iran has in Iran. So, whose fault is it? Oh, they're protecting the Persian Gulf. Oh. Well, why is it that we're still using petroleum from the Persian Gulf after all these years? Isn't it supposed to be like with all the fracking that the US is producing enough petroleum to look after itself? And there's all this bonus oil that, is floating around the world from Venezuela, apparently on the cheap. So why are you sending this enormous military force over to the Middle East to protect oil lanes that your country doesn't need? It's all bogus. And, why is Donald Trump in bed with Saudi Arabia, who the news reports are the ones that killed the journalist Khashoggi? Anyway, the Saudis don't sound very good. And just remember 9/11 was, according to the official story, the bombers were from Saudi Arabia. Osama bin Laden, who was public enemy number one, was also from Saudi Arabia. So why is the United States allied with Saudi Arabia? It's clear that insanity rules in the White House and the Congress. Um, so, they're all buffoons. No one understands what's going to happen with the rest of the world when America sinks into further decline. Because despite all the news reports that America is so much better, um, everything that I see from Americans say we can't wait for the extraterrestrials to land and bring Nasera and Jacera. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the extraterrestrial plan to give poor people money. America has gone so far down the toilet that, well, they spend $25,000 an hour on fuel for one of their military jet planes, and God knows how many of these planes they've got. But if you're an average American, you're working for peanuts, and then the government takes the rest of it in taxes. So it doesn't sound like America's great. I read about San Francisco and Silicon Valley, where houses are so expensive that the people that are working there can't afford to live, so they're living in RVs on the roads, and then the cities are preparing bylaws to ban people from living in these trailers on the side streets. So, I mean, is that America great? Even if you live in the most wealthy area and you've got a job, you can't afford to live there. It's the way of the world, and the world is unbelievably screwed up. And the politicians, all they do is they just keep throwing money at huge corporations who pay no tax. Amazon apparently pays no tax. There's so many corporations that pay no tax, and the little person at Walmart pays more tax than Amazon. Go figure that out. Making America great again? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's any greater. I think it's far worse. And despite these news media lies that keep coming out, I don't see it being a great, successful country. I think it's sunk to abysmal lows, and no end in sight as to the great decline of the American empire. Other than the military that's holding it up, but everyone knows that the Chinese and Russians have got better militaries than the Americans with all their new technologies are making the American naval fleets obsolete. And we haven't even talked about Corey Goode and David Wilcock and their information, whether it's true or not, that there's a secret space program and colonies on Mars and the asteroids. You're never going to get true news from mainstream news, and the alternative news, everyone wonders where they get their information from. How can it possibly be that something about? Oh, I know. Well, no one knows. Anyways, that's your news update. I can't give you anything else. I'm Harry Weaver, your narrator.